I know that when all the news kind of first came out and all the rumors that he may vote for the NFL, Jim Harbaugh, a lot of us were like, Sharon Moore is the guy. But does it concern you at all if Harbaugh's taking that staff with him, and Sharon Moore is now the guy that has to go out there and kind of restock the cupboard?
Understand, when they got Jim Harbaugh, that was the most perfect hire that you could possibly ask for. He was a Michigan man who had just had a lot of success with San Francisco, had success with Stanford, had success with San Diego, and you're not going to get somebody like that nowadays. I trust with like some of the coaching staff continuity, the roster continuity that you would probably be more likely to have with a Sharon Moore, that he is next in line. I'm not saying that don't cast the net at all, because at this point you have to. You can't just hire Sharon Moore. I think there's a 7-day window. Cast your net, interview some guys, but I personally would probably feel most comfortable with Sharon Moore. But there's also the caveat that Michigan just won the national championship, so I'm not as concerned as...
So if Todd Monken, the Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator, was interested, you wouldn't talk to him?
I mean, I didn't say don't talk. I'm just saying that, I mean, Todd Monken's obviously done a great job with Baltimore, and Lamar Jackson helped him get another MVP. Maybe the Baltimore Ravens are going to get a Super Bowl out of it. Yeah, I would talk to him. It's just, I don't know what... There just doesn't seem to be that name out there that really just grasps at me. And I get it. You're not going to get a Jim Harbaugh, like a free agent Jim Harbaugh. Those come around. Those are unicorns. But like a Lance Leopold.
So you're infatuated with names, is what you're saying.
I'm not saying I'm infatuated with names. I'm just saying that, like, what makes like a Lance Leopold or anything like that any more trustworthy than like a Sharon Moore? They've
been a head coach. That's the difference.
I understand.
Elijah Drunkowitz has been a head coach and did an unbelievable job at Missouri. You wouldn't want to talk to Drinkowitz at Missouri? Well,
yeah, Missouri obviously had a great season, had a great quarterback, great running back, and all that. Was good in the SEC. Sure, you can talk to them. I'm just none of those really strike me more than a Sharon Moore, and I'd be worried about losing some players. That's all.
You're losing players no matter what. I mean, Kalen DeBoer just played for a national championship, went to Alabama. It's been a pillaging of their talent. So you're going to lose talent no matter what. I don't care who goes in there. You're going to have guys who are just going to, you know what? I've decided to reopen my recruiting and I may go someplace else. That's not going to be unique. I just think, I've always been a big Matt Campbell fan at Iowa State. I would want to talk to him. I would want to talk to certain guys who have run their own program, done it successfully and done it for a long time. If Elijah Drinkowitz can win at Missouri in the SEC, and if Matt Campbell can win at Iowa State for a short period of time, think about what resources Michigan provides you with a much better chance of succeeding on a regular basis. And I think you owe it to your program to do that. That's not a slight at Sharon Moore at all, because I think he did a hell of a job in really tough circumstances.
Yeah, and the toughest, man, you go to Happy Valley and you pull out the W, and then you defeat your rival, your nemesis, Ohio State, man.
And you know what? That's a really good example. I mean, you want James Franklin? That should be the argument. That should be your argument, right? When I bring that up, you're like, okay, Penn State, James Franklin at Vanderbilt did a pretty good job in the SEC. Went to Penn State, hasn't done squat. Okay?
Okay, but James Franklin, you guys act like he's a tomato can or something. Penn State is a consistent top 10, 15 team. They just haven't gotten over the hump. And I get it. James Franklin does some things in game that are just you can't even explain it. But it's not like James Franklin is like this trash coach or anything like that. He's not great. He hasn't brought Penn State to a national championship level, but they're never terrible. I get what you're saying. James Franklin was obviously, I think looking back, we're gonna talk about the phenomenal job that he did at Vanderbilt. Look what they've been since. But
that's because it's Vanderbilt, dude. I mean, there's a massive difference.
Yes,
massive difference. There is no excuse for how poorly he's done at Penn State, other than the fact they play in the toughest division in the Big Ten, and there are two big bad bullies who are better than he is, and you could use Michigan State as an example as a team that's better than he is too. He is not a very good coach.